Yes, me Top, and welcome back to another Minecraft mod pack video on Pixelmon Reforged. This is another Minecraft mod pack review. I haven't done one of these in a good while, and that's because I don't really understand mod packs enough to really do a comprehensive review, but I think I understand the Pixelmon Reforged mod pack enough to do a comprehensive review on this mod pack. So let's get right into this mod pack right now. When you start to load up the world, you see this. A loading world with a fun little line of Gen 1 Pokemon, aka the starters plus Pikachu. And then you see this screen right here. You get to pick your starters right off of this. As you can see here, we have Gen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are going to pick Squirtle, at least I am, because it's my favorite starter Pokemon to usually pick. And just like that, we are in this lovely little world. We have journey maps, and not to mention, we have a lovely little starter Pokemon, which we can throw out with R. R is how you throw out Pokemon, and as you can see, we have ourselves our little Squirtle. You can check out the Squirtle by going into your little inventory, and then right-click on it and hit Summary, and it can show you stuff such as the ability, the experience needed to level up, the Dynamax level, the status, the TMs that it can learn, adding a ribbon to it. Under moves, you have the list of moves and their description, along with if it's a special or a physical move or a status move. And under stats, you also have the nature, the happiness, all the stats of the Pokemon, and also the growth, which Pokemon can spawn in different sizes. This one happened to be small. Ooh, there's a lovely little thing there, which I'll go over in just a second. In this mod pack, there's also biomes plenty, which gives more vibrant biomes and very, very nice, lovely biomes for Pokemon to spawn in. So, now that you have your Pokemon, what do? You'll notice that there's some fancy little trees here. In these trees, you can find apricots. As you can see, this happened to be a green apricot tree. Very, very nice design from the original trees. The color of the tree represents what kind of apricot you might get out of it. And this just happened to be a green tree, which gives a green apricot. This one over here is a yellowish tree, which gives a yellow apricot. This one happens to be a very white looking tree, therefore it is a white apricot tree. You get the idea, and the way to harvest from these trees is to go up and right click on the leaf that has the apricot already in there, and this will constantly grow apricots along the way. This is definitely one of my favorite additions to the 1.16 versions of Pixelmon, because now there can be more apricots growing on one tree at a time. These apricots are important for making Pokeballs. We have to get a certain order of apricots to make specific Pokeballs. Red apricots probably means that you're probably going to be able to make the original Pokeball. But there's a whole array of Pokeballs that you can make in this game, and some require 3 to 2 different types of apricots at a time, such as the Great Ball, which is 2 blue and 1 red. And if you look over here, as you can see, there's a whole lot of Pokeballs that you can make or find, and I'll go over how to make Pokeballs right now. Something that I was confused about when making the Pokeballs is that I noticed that when I make the anvil, which is usually made for Pokeballs given this recipe, we have an anvil right here, and then you have the iron aligned like so to get the iron disc. In this beta version, you get the iron base. However, eventually you're going to have, to use the iron disc and an anvil, because the original way to make Pokeballs in the released version of Pixelmon is to make iron disc and then hammer them down with a hammer, which can be made with 2 sticks and then iron around. And usually you just put the disc on here and then you hammer it down, but I don't think that's how it works for the beta version. It might change when it is out of beta. Now that you have your iron base, let's get the apricot lids, which you need a furnace. I'm sure everyone knows how to pick a furnace. It's 8 cobblestone around the very border of the crafting menu. And then what you have to do is to smelt down the apricots to get cooked apricots. Now let's get a few apricots out here. And as you can see here, you can see all the different apricots that are here. The black, the white, the pink, the green, blue, yellow, red. And so let me actually show you one of my favorite Pokeballs to make. I believe the way it works is that it's like this. Yep. So green, green, and then a black in the middle, and then you get a dusk ball. You should probably look up every one of these balls up in a Pokemon Wikipedia. That's what she said. Pixelmon has many little Wikipedia's things that you can look at. One for Reforged, one for Generations, but usually they remain consistent when it comes to the Pokeballs. And the Dusk Ball that I'm about to make is 4 times catch rate at night, or I think 4 times or 3 times, one of the two. Now, finally, you need stone. And the reason why you need stone is to make a stone button, just so you can make the lovely little Pokeball. So something that is changed is that before, I thought that you could use an iron base for everything. There are different metals within Pixelmon, and apparently, you need to actually use different metals for different Pokeballs. This wasn't like this before, so this was actually fairly new to me, and I do apologize for the inconvenience, but for things like the Dusk Ball, it actually requires specifically and only a platinum base. The iron base seems to be for Pokeballs and, just in general, any ball that is very basic in catch rates. Also, a fancy little thing that you can do to figure out what the balls exactly do is to hit shift on these balls to see what exactly they do. If there are any Pokeball that has some use to it and are more complex in catch rates, they need a silver base. And for balls that are really good at what they do, they need a silver base. At least that's what I've gotten from this. And it's also these, which are the ancient version of these Pokeballs. I don't know much about these Pokeballs per se, but they are new to this version of Pixelmon. Now, one thing that is very key within Pokemon is the exploration aspect of Pokemon. You need to explore in order to catch new Pokemon. And the main reason for this is because there are various structures and each individual biome actually has its own specified catch rate for said Pokemon. This can only be done when you're opt, but basically if you do /check spawns, you can actually see the spawn rate of the Pokemon within the biome. And each biome is very Pokemon specific, such as you would find cold Pokemon in the colder biomes and warm Pokemon in the warmer biomes. Just really, use your head when it comes to thinking about where Pokemon would spawn, such as poison types might be spawning more frequently in the swamp biomes. You can also check where your Pokemon that you might be looking for will spawn within Pokemon Wikipedias and all that, and overall, just search it up online or use the link down below to use the Wikipedia to find out where your Pokemon or the Pokemon you want to find is. A key tip for Pokemon hunting is also to burn down the forest if you have no need for Pokemon that spawns within leaves. Now, how do you get Legendaries? Well, Legendaries can spawn in a variety of different ways. One way that Legendaries spawn in is through the means of natural spawning. Now, there's a timer for this type of Legendary, in which once this timer expires, there is a chance that a legend might spawn near you. You have to be in a spawnable area for said Legendary in order for this to truly happen. Some Legendaries obviously spawn in very specific and sometimes even rare biomes, so really look up how your favorite Legendary or whatever Legendary you want to find spawns in. You can even do /check spawns Legendary, and it would show you if there's a possibility of a legend spawning within the area that you're in. Here, in this lovely little forest hills, Verzian can spawn in, and I believe this is considered to be a river biome, or a lake biome, or whatever. And so Keldeo can spawn within this biome. So overall, look up where your favorite Legendary spawns, and plan accordingly, of course. Just so happen to find a little village here, which you can meet with NPCs of all kind. And a lot of these NPCs don't really do much. However, there is one in particular that is really helpful, such as the healer, which helps heal your Pokemon at a faster rate than just using a healer on your own. Oh, and by the way, these healers are obviously craftable through the means of iron ingots, diamond, and aluminum ingots. In future updates, these will probably replace with plates, iron plates, and then, aluminum plates. And wow, I am so lucky. So along with legendaries, you can also find shinies. This just so happens to be a random shiny that I just so happen to find. I'm never going to have this kind of luck again. I just so happen to find a shiny Mudbray. These spawn around your world just like regular Pokemon, but it's a slight chance that they'll turn into a shiny. Since you seem to be very lucky shiny, I'm just going to use a Master Ball just to, yeah. And as you see, that's a nice little animation. And there we go. Oh, and you can also mount Pokemon. Some Pokemon are mountable, some Pokemon are not mountable, and this one is mountable. The speed of the mount is equivalent to the speed of the Pokemon. Alright, so for the sake of showing guys what happens when a legendary spawns, I actually spawned in a Meloetta, and as you can see, it gives you the notification that a legendary spawned in. And so here I have a Meloetta, and there we go. We have caught the Meloetta. I should probably go over how battles work as well, but it's as simple as throwing your Pokemon onto the Pokemon that you want to attack. You can also use the arrows, the up and down arrows, to switch between the Pokemon, as you can see. Let's use the 50 Meloetta that we just got. And this is the battle scene. Here we have Round, Sing, Acrobatics, and Psybeam. Obviously, check your Pokemon in the, move section to see what these moves do. I personally know what these moves do, so I'm going to use Acrobatics. One thing that is helpful is that the map does show if a Pokemon is a shiny or not on the map, and if there's a Pokemon around the area that you are actually looking for. So really do pay attention to the map, as it is really, really important. I teleported to another village just to show you that there's also Pokemarts that can spawn in. And as you can see here, we have, one shop that sells Pokeballs and one that sells mail. Now, these can be interchangeable. Maybe one of them can sell TMs. Pay attention to some of these shopkeepers, as they can give you very, very good things within trades, and especially the TM and the Pokeball merchants. Also, the way to actually get the currency for buying these things is to either sell things such as the green apricots or battle trainers for money. None of these guys are trainers, but trainers do spawn around the world occasionally. You can come across them. They can, give you money once you fight them. The item finder can help you find certain items around the area that are within Pokeballs and whatnot. So there's like some Pokeballs around the map. Some of them are invisible. Some of them are, not invisible. Some of them are in little grottos. Those would be the Master Balls and all that stuff. And it's made through this way. Oh, wow. That is awkward. So along with shinies, you can also find these guys. These are custom skin Pokemon that are spawned around your world, and this is a Crystal Onyx. So yeah, you can find these around your world. I mean, if you want to be in a Master Ball so bad, then I guess here we go. Oh, and this is one of those trainers I was talking about earlier, but this one has a bit of a missing texture, so I'm gonna leave it be. So for some reason, the item finder is not working, and I can't really explain exactly why this is the case, but I think it might be a little bug and they need to patch it, later. Either way, they do spawn around your world. Also, there are also boss Pokemon that spawn around your world, so keep an eye out for this. This is how you can find Mega Bosses. Bosses are a way to get the Mega Stones and all that, and as you can see here, this is not a Mega Boss, so you can't really get a Mega Stone out of this thing, but there are some Mega Bosses that spawn around the world, and you can get Mega Stones from them if you defeat them. And this one just, is a regular rare boss that can drop loot. I believe it goes from uncommon to rare to epic to legendary. And so, yeah. The color will also give away what the boss is. That one being blue. Blue is rare. In order to see the Mega Boss spawn rate, you have to do the check spawns for Mega Bosses. And there we go. As you can see, it takes 3 minutes, right? Well, at least right now, from 3 minutes from now. And then it'll spawn in either Banette, Ampharos, or Manectric. And yes, the bosses are also spawned in, depending on where its base versions are spawned in, usually. While I'm waiting for that to spawn in, we have a transfer tutor here. These guys spawn around the world, and you can actually learn Pokemon moves from them if you got the required emeralds or minerals that they need, which a lot of these can spawn underground. Here we have these stone ores, which are basically ores use for getting those stones in order to evolve your Pokemons. And then you have Bauxite, Silver, Platinum. These two we actually went over earlier for the Pokeballs. Ruby Ore, Sapphire, Amethyst, Crystal, and Silicon. Alright, let's see if our legendary boss spawned in. No, it did not. And now it's reset back to 8 minutes. Okay. Alright, so I've been waiting for a good few minutes, but unfortunately I couldn't get a Mega Boss to spawn in to show you how they look like. But just imagine a Pokemon in its Mega form roaming the area. And basically, that's what the Mega Boss looks like. And in some occasions, the Mega Boss will even have, like, its own shiny variant. And the shiny variant, if you come across it, I believe that's the hardest boss that you can possibly face within Pokemon. So do brace yourself if you do find the shiny variant of that boss. This is a massive side note, but if you do come across this block right here while you're mining, this is a fossil block, and it can be turned into a Pokemon through a fossil machine. And you must clean the fossil before you use the fossil machine using a fossil cleaner. So do keep in mind whenever you see this block around. I can't really go over all the structures, so I'll go over some of them. This is an example of a structure that it can spawn in a legendary given a certain requirement. This is a Zapdos structure, and the shrines are very similar for the other legendary birds. Moltres, I believe, spawns in the Desert Hills regions, and the Articuno one spawns in the Ice Hills region. But anyways, Zapdos here, you need to get a orb from one of the boss drops, or I believe a quest can give these orbs. Fill the orb with souls. When given the orb a water stone, fire stone, or an electric stone, this will cause it to be able to collect souls by killing the Pokemon. But once you fill it up, you can put it into here. So here we have the orb of fiery souls. We can't use it with this shrine, but we can use the orb of static souls, which we filled up. And then we're facing a Zapdos. This is a Celebi shrine, which can spawn in Celebi by giving it a GS ball, which can be also attained via the bosses. So put in a GS ball, and I've actually already used this shrine. But yeah, you can put in the GS ball there, and Celebi will spawn right there. Alright, so this is a den. And dens spawn in Pokemon for raid battles and whatnot. You can raid battle a Pokemon, and it's a very easy way to get Dittos. It's also a nice way to fight, you know, Pokemon in general and get some loot and all that. And some legendaries do spawn through dens, so keep that in mind. I think earlier I did see a den. Basically, the way they can tell if a den is lit is if there's a pink beacon. That one does not have a pink beacon. Here's an example of what a den looks like with a Pokemon inside of it. I originally assumed it would be a pink beacon, but it's actually changed a little bit to make it look more white than pink. But yeah, so that's what the beacons look like. There are many dens around the area, and a lot of them are designed in a way where you can actually, you know, spot one out and it won't be very hard to find. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to Pokespawn a Necrozma. There are a few Pokemon that can go to the Ultra Space Dimension, and this just so happened to be one of those Pokemon. Other Pokemons include Solgaleo and Lunala, along with Ultra Necrozma. And so the way to go to the Ultra Space Dimension is first change your keybind, because for some reason Pokemon has a very weird keybind. The keybind that just changes this, change it to like, you know, a keybind that's like suitable, and press the keybind button and then hit the Ultra Space thing and then hit G. G is the way to activate it. And now, where is it? Ah, here it is. These do spawn naturally around your world, so you might be lucky enough to go into one. That's also another lovely little bossy uncommon boss. But here we go. In this world, you can find Ultra Space Pokemon along with, you know, the standard legendaries and all that. And in the Ultra Space, there's a boosted chance for shinies. But overall, that is it for this Pixelmon review. And I just really have to say that there's so much things in Pixelmon that I haven't went over. And that's just mainly because I want to keep the review as, you know, short as possible. I didn't go over many of the legendary structures. That's part of the reason why I wanted to say, go look up how to get your favorite legendaries and whatnot. Things like Arceus requires all of the plates of Arceus. Things like Palkia and whatnot requires stones along with the lake spirits. And overall, there's so many different things that legendaries require sometimes. But either way, thank you guys for watching. If you like the review, like the review. If you want to subscribe, I have to subscribe. And remember to be at the top. If you want to be at the top, I'll see you guys next video. Take care and good.